This video is sponsored by Surfshark. Obi-Wan Kenobi, the latest Disney Plus Star Wars series, was off to a strong start, but 3 episodes in, the discrepancy between professional and audience reviews started getting pretty noticeable, already exceeding Rise of Skywalker levels. The main cause for these plummeting audience reviews is the writing of Obi-Wan himself, as his arc seems to foreshadow and echo the character assassination done to Luke Skywalker in Rian Johnson's The Last Jedi. Is that really what is going on? Could they really be so stupid that they would do that? Let's not beat around the bush. The answer is yes, it would appear so. But why? Well, that there may be more to. In this editorial, I will begin by comparing and contrasting how Luke and Obi-Wan respectively are characterized in The Last Jedi and the current Disney Plus series. Then I'll give my take on why they might be doing this, and more importantly, why they're wrong. But before we start tearing into everything wrong with the Obi-Wan series, let's acknowledge that there is a lot of good there too. It is a delight to see Ewan McGregor return to what is arguably his signature role, and that goes for Hayden Christensen as Darth Vader too. His scenes, from being assembled if you will, to his pure anger and hatred, are nothing but a joy to behold. The core story is a good one, and between Joel Edgerton and Jimmy Smits, it's making the prequel trilogy better, and hell, it even has Flea. Whether he's slapping the bass and adding some funk to the Red Hot Chili Peppers or making cameos in South African hip-hop, everything is better with Flea. Therefore, it is extra disappointing that this series, which could and should have been so good, has stuck to the Lucasfilm trope of humiliating and emasculating the OG hero in what should have been a glorious return to form. Only Disney knows how many switched off, or even cancelled their Disney Plus subscription on the spot in anger when Obi-Wan left that Jedi who begged him for help to die. Or all the times little wonder Leia bailed him out, but I'm sure it was many. And I'm equally sure they'll want to take to the high seas to see how it all goes anyway. Of course, that is something that neither Midnight's Edge, our sponsors, nor any other affiliates condones. Not only is piracy wrong, you would be exposing yourself to endless spyware, tracking software and other malware out there on the high seas, and that's on top of all the data that is stolen from you during all of your regular browsing activities. Well, modern problems require modern solutions, and many of them can be found in a VPN, such as the one delivered by this channel's sponsor, Surfshark. A VPN, or Virtual Private Network, is a privacy protection tool which guarantees instant online safety and encrypts all data sent via the internet. On top of that, Surfshark allows you to bypass geo-blocking restrictions by changing the country you access the internet from, which also gives you access to 15 different Netflix libraries by simply changing your virtual location. Not only that, outside of the US, Star, the international version of Hulu, comes bundled with Disney+. If you're in the US and change your location to, say, the UK, well then you just might get that too. One of the advantages with Surfshark over many other VPN providers is that it allows one account to be used on unlimited devices. That's part of the reason why Surfshark is the VPN of our choice, and it gets even better. If you type in the code MIDNIGHT when ordering, that triggers an exclusive offer in which you now get 83% off the normal list price, plus 3 extra months for free. And for the month of June, Surfshark are also giving away a free antivirus as part of this deal. Surfshark also offers a 30-day money-back guarantee, so there's no risk in trying it out. Do check out the link in the description below for further details and to order. Thanks to Surfshark for sponsoring this video, and with that, let's get into where Obi-Wan stepped wrong. In The Last Jedi, it was very important for Rian Johnson to subvert expectations all around. For the movie's featured OG hero, that meant turning Luke Skywalker from an inspiring hero who represented the best of the Jedi, to a pathetic old miser who hated the Jedi, looked back on his life with nothing but regret, and just wanted to die.
Would you teach me karate?
I don't believe in karate anymore. Leave me alone, Daniel-san. I want to die.
For actor Mark Hamill, this interpretation of Luke Skywalker was so hard on him that he, in not so many words, said that the only way he could do it was by pretending he was playing another character altogether, one Jake Skywalker, because he knew what the audience knew, that could never be Luke. Alas, for Kathleen Kennedy's Lucasfilm, who were hell-bent on tearing down the past and the foundations of the franchise that was Luke Skywalker. Since they get to decree what is and what is not official canon under Disney ownership, all roads lead to Jake Skywalker. And that, my friends, is probably what we're seeing here. Obi-Wan Kenobi at the point in his life where he is despondent, feeling much the same as Luke would come to do in The Last Jedi. As he points out to the Jedi who begged him for help, the war was fought and they lost. At the end of Revenge of the Sith, he was committed to doing his part to continue the fight in exile, but now, 10 years down the line, he evidently feels differently. He hasn't kept up with his training because he's practically a novice in the Force again. He let the Jedi who asked for his help to die like he would have let Uncle Owen die right in front of him, while Owen was protecting him no less. When he somehow found himself on a rescue mission for Leia, she ended up bailing him out as much or more than he did her. While seeing Darth Vader again was pretty sweet. What was not sweet was how Obi-Wan put up zero fight, and again, had to be bailed out by another woman who was seemingly written into the series for that reason only. This is, after all, Kathleen Kennedy's Lucasfilm. All while Vader passively watches their very slow and very preventable escape. This is supposed to sync up with A New Hope another 10 years down the line, so I'm sure Obi-Wan will regain his spirits by the end of the series, no doubt aided by Leia, because this is still Kathleen Kennedy's Lucasfilm. But for now, yeah, this is Jake Kenobi, just as that old miser in The Last Jedi was Jake Skywalker. Then it doesn't really help how much else in the series was good, because it's all kind of undone by that. So why did they do it? The writers have yet to speak up in their defense, but if I were to guess, the simplest answer is probably that the writers knew where Obi-Wan was at the end of Revenge of the Sith, they knew where he had to be by the beginning of A New Hope, and in order to get from one to the other, they decided to take a detour into Jake Skywalker territory in order that they could give him a hope lost and regained arc. A lot of female empowerment was added into the process, which on its own is not a bad thing, but that it was executed at Kenobi's expense, of course, makes it a Kathleen Kennedy's Lucasfilm trope. Kennedy still being there, of course, also means everything still leads to her masterpiece, The Last Jedi, so if Kenobi's arc rhymes with Skywalker's, then so much the better, I guess. The big reason, though, I think, is simply giving Obi-Wan an arc. From a writer's perspective, that makes sense and it can be defended. In this case, though, it was the wrong decision. Let's see why. We have previously covered just how important The Last Jedi is to Kathleen Kennedy's Lucasfilm. The link for that video is in the description, check it out if you haven't seen it. But to really shorten it down, it is their golden calf, and they figuratively worship at its altar. The problem is that to the rest of the world, or those who still care about Star Wars at any rate, The Last Jedi is a false idol. If they were really serious about bringing Star Wars back from the brink, all they would have to do is declare the sequel trilogy non-canon, say it's legends, and the future beyond the Mandalorian era is unwritten, and fans would flock back again. I'm not saying that is going to happen, certainly not while Kathleen Kennedy or any of her cronies remain in the building. But until it does, anything they put out will be hamstrung by it just being another building block towards the sequel trilogy and The Last Jedi. Who knows what the future may bring, but for now, putting anything that in any way, shape or form reminds anyone of The Last Jedi is a kiss of death. Then it doesn't really matter if Obi-Wan needed an arc and that was the best the writers could come up with. If so, they needed to go back to the drawing board again. Because no matter how much they may be able to justify their approach between themselves and other writers, you are writing for an audience, and references to The Last Jedi will cause that audience to recoil. That is not the audience's fault. It is Rian Johnson and Kathleen Kennedy's fault, because they put out a subversive piece of propaganda that wrecked both the sequel trilogy and the Star Wars franchise at large. Until the powers that be at Lucasfilm are able to accept and come to terms with that, and take that into account in upcoming projects, no return to Star Wars former greatness will be possible. Remember, Obi-Wan Kenobi, a series that reunites Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen, opened to less interest than Stranger Things Season 4 and Top Gun Maverick. That should not have been possible, but here we are. And because this echoed The Last Jedi, the upcoming Andor will open to even less interest still. We will have more to say about this, as well as where the future for Star Wars and Lucasfilm appears to be headed now, very soon. To make sure you don't miss out on that, please like this video, subscribe, and indicate you want notifications on all videos. I'd also like to remind existing subscribers to please check that you are in fact still subscribed and still set to receive notifications. Because those are settings we get consistent feedback that this platform may change without you asking for it. With that, let us know your thoughts in the comments, and before you go, remember that to help bypass quarrelsome geo-blocking restrictions, you should get Surfshark VPN. Use our code MIDNIGHT to get 83% off, plus 3 extra months, and for the month of June, antivirus for free. Link is in the description.